On this week's Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, the Bucks fall just short on the road against Iowa. We've got the highlights. And the road doesn't get any easier as the Bucks welcome in the defending champs, the Sioux Falls Storm. We'll preview Bismarck's next big test. And later, after 5 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, we thought it was past time to learn a little bit more about wide receiver JT Stokes. It's all coming up on the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, which starts right now. Welcome inside our BEK studios, everyone. I'm David Sugarman, and this is the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show. After back-to-back double-digit wins to round out their 3-game homestand, Bismarck took to the road for the first time since week 1 of the season. The journey away from Bismarck took them to the home of Hollywood stars like Ashton Kutcher, Elijah Wood, and even John Wayne. That's right, Iowa. Let's go to the highlights. Head coach Rod Miller aiming for a 2-0 start away from Bismarck. First quarter, no score. Defensive back Malik Duncan keeping it that way. Punishing running back Elad Kavalu in the backfield. Barnstormers eventually turn it over on downs. Still in the first. He's the reigning MVP for a reason. Quarterback Daquan Neal scrambles his way into the end zone for a 5-yard score. 6-3 Iowa. Bucks respond. Justin Rankin bullying his way in, the running back, 15 yards, his 3rd straight week with at least 1 score. Bucks ahead 10-6. On the ensuing kickoff, look out! Cody Barber off the foot of an Iowa special teams player. Rankin recovers. Bucks didn't score, however. Onside kicks was something of a theme. It was the first of 3 in the game. Later in the second, the Bucks lead is 10-9. Quarterback Glenn Couillette spots JT Stokes, the receiver, hauls in a 20-yard touchdown pass, the first of 3 on the night for him. Bucks ahead 17-9. Under 3 left in the half. Bucks had held Neal in check up until this point. 47-yard find for wideout Kentrez Bell. Bucks still lead 17-16. Less than a minute to go in the half. It's Couillette to Stokes again. 8-yard score. Bucks missed the extra point. They lead 23-16. Just 12 seconds later, Kavalu down the sideline. Great downfield blocking, and we are tied going into the locker room at 23 apiece. Early 3rd quarter. Kavalu gonna find the end zone again. From just 2 yards out, Kavalu finishes with 85 yards on the ground. Barnstormers ahead, 30-23. Still in the 3rd, Couillette. How about a 3rd touchdown pass? Raheem Harvey all by his lonesome. After a missed extra point, Barnstormers lead is 30-29. Couple minutes later, Couillette and receiver Harvey connect one more time. 11-yard grab in the back of the end zone. What a job by Harvey to hold on. Bucks went for 2 and couldn't get it to go, but they led by 5, 35-30. Less than a minute to go in the 3rd. How do the Barnstormers respond? How about Daquan Neal finding receiver Con Hollenbeck on a 15-yard score? Bucks actually blocked the extra point, and they lead, but they trail 36-35. Early 4th. Couillette and Stokes again. The hat trick for Stokes on a 26-yard grab. Stokes finished with 5 catches and 98 yards. Bucks ahead 42-36. Under 12 to play. Neal and Hollenbeck on an 18-yard hookup. Their second of the half, 43-42 Iowa. A couple minutes later, Iowa hoping to extend the lead, but Deion Carter jars it loose. Linebacker Darion Jackson recovers, but the Bucks unable to take advantage on the ensuing drive. Later in the 4th, exactly 1 minute to go after an Iowa score, Bucks going to get one more chance with 2 timeouts, down 49-42. That is until this. Nathan Criswell, the kicker, a perfectly executed surprise onside kick. Hollenbeck recovers, and the Barnstormers come out with a gritty victory, 49-42. A heartbreaking loss is certainly never the goal. However, the Bucks are trying to look at the glass as half full.
You have to lose a game like that to learn how to win a game like that. So that was the biggest positive thing that we took from that, losing that game. So now that we go and get into another battle just like that, we'll be able to come out. We'll know what to do to be able to come out with a victory.
Played pretty hard, you know. It was a well-fought battle, but there was just a little bit too many mistakes, and that's things that we're going to have to prove this week, such as, you know, a lot of personal fouls and, you know, a lot of hands to the face type of things.
There's things that, you know, a read that I missed or a block that we missed or, you know, a play call that we could have actually waited for and, you know, we could have utilized somewhere some other time during the game. And there was, like, plenty of things that, you know, we all, I guess, saw on film. So that's a big difference. It's all just one play.
Couple other games in action around the league this weekend. Tucson takes down Duke City, no problems, 55-35. And in a close matchup, the Sioux Falls Storm take down the Louisville Extreme, 49-43. Now, there's no substitute for experience, and the Bucks' next opponent has that in bunches. The Sioux Falls Storm have been to the last 10 United Bowls and won the most recent in 2019. The Storm come into this matchup 2-1 so far on the season, fresh off that tight 49-43 victory against the Louisville Extreme on the road. Now, being the model franchise in the league for so long, the Storm always have aspects of their game that stand out. And so far in 2021, that's been the run game. Sioux Falls is averaging the second most rushing yards in the league at just over 110 a game. Even against an elite run game like the Storm's, for Bismarck, it still all comes back to the basics.
Our defense is going to go ahead. We're going to be sound, going to be great, and we stop the run and then make them pass it, and that pass game is going to be great. Us guys have to make tackles. Make sure for open field tackles, sure tackles, and we'll be just fine.
Just like come out like every other week, just come in, be physical, and just mentally sound, physical, just assignment football.
Now, for a lot of teams, welcoming in a group with so much hardware in the trophy case might be a test that could bring some added pressure. However, the Bucks aren't planning on giving the Storm any kind of special treatment.
This week is, I guess you could say, a bit more of a statement game, given the history of this team. But it's a focus every week. We treat every team the same. You know, you got to go out there, focus, and ready to beat the team no matter who it is. So Sioux Falls, Iowa, Green Bay, whoever it is, we treat them all the same.
Every game really is a statement game for us. We just try to take it 1 week at a time. But definitely this week, you know, playing Sioux Falls, defending whatever champions or whatever, definitely want to make a statement, go in there and beat them up a little bit.
Time for us to take a short break. When we come back, it's that time of the week where we sit down with Bucks head coach Rod Miller. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
Everybody needs an off-season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
Hey, do you mind if I practice a little bit? Right, I don't really think that.
Johnson holds, shoots, he scores! Incredible! For the second time today, Brent has jammed the printer.
Lowry's third caramel roll of the day. That's a bold move.
And he drains one. Blind squirrel finds a nut. And back to normal.
Staying connected is more important than ever, and we're proud to have connected you when it mattered most. Whether it was working remotely at your new home office or providing cutting-edge security and connectivity solutions, or connecting you to your customers in new ways. More than ever, your local co-op is here for you. Choose local, choose BEK Connect.
Indoor football is back at the Event Center, and the Bismarck Bucks season is right around the corner. The team will be fueled and ready to compete on game days thanks to our 2021 food sponsors. Dine with any of our supporting partners and get a free Bucks ticket to any home game in the 2021 season. Great food and free football. Tickets are first come, first serve, so get yours now. Call 701-595-0771 for more ticket information. And go Bucks!
Welcome back to the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show. I'm David Sugarman alongside Bucks head coach Rod Miller. Coach, thanks so much for joining us today.
As usual, glad to be here.
Obviously not the way you wanted things to go on Saturday. Tough loss, but we're just talking about it before we went on here. You guys had a lot of positives to take away from that. How do you try and take those positives without focusing too much on the negative?
You know, you have to take every game as a learning lesson. You know, regardless of the fact where we're at, we're still a young team, and we're going to go through some learning curves, unfortunately. And, you know, there's some things that we definitely need to clean up and correct to be a better football team. But, you know, I thought that definitely the effort was there. You know, just the way we competed was there, and the game went down to the end, which most, you know, indoor games go down to. The team that has the ball last usually wins in a back-and-forth battle. You know, and unfortunately, there were some calls that weren't relayed that did not give us opportunity to have the ball last, but, you know, those things will be corrected. Those things we learn from, and like I said, it's just a learning curve to make us get a better team.
This was a game that had not one, not two, but three onside kicks. Obviously, the one late for Iowa to help them seal things. What lessons did you guys learn from a special teams vantage point?
You know, we learned that you always got to be aware and be alert, you know, and we had that, and it's not just with the coaches, you know, we got to make sure that the players understand that, the whole staff understands, you know, in this game, and a lot of fans will find out, you know, onside kicks are going to be huge, you know, and usually in that last minute, you know, you're going to try to get those onside kicks so you can have the ball last, because usually the team that has the ball last wins. So, you know, we didn't have our second lineup close like they should have been, and, you know, that, you know, came back to cost us this game. But, you know, we know from a learning lesson, not just for us, but the players know and understand that, hey, if there's something that's not right, you know what it's supposed to be, and we'll get that fixed. So, you know, it's just a learning curve, but, you know, those onside kicks are very crucial in this game, and we specify that every day in practice.
Offensively, one guy who's really stood out the last couple of weeks, wide receiver J.T. Stokes. 5 touchdowns over the last 2 games. What's allowed him to really explode these last couple of weeks?
You know, I think all these guys are getting comfortable and understanding the system and getting comfortable in the system. You know, when you got 3 great receivers like we have, you know, you can't focus on just one, you know, and one guy's going to have a big week, and then the team tries to take that guy away, then the next guy up is going to have a big week. So when you have 3 receivers that are dynamic like we have, you know, it causes problems. You know, I've been in indoor arena before. We had 3,000-yard receivers on the team, and I think we had that kind of receiving core. We could have that if they stay efficient, and like I said, you just can't focus on one. So, you know, those guys know when it's their time to shine, they're going to shine.
You just mentioned that. It leads right into our next question. A couple of weeks ago, felt like we were having pretty similar conversations about receiver Raheem Harvey. So going off of that, can you expand on that a little bit more? Now that everyone seems to be hitting their groove, how do you defend the Bismarck Bucks?
You know, the teams are going to try to figure out a way to do it. And you say, we're talking about the passing game, but we can't forget about we probably got one of the best running backs in the league. So, you know, you're looking at from every angle. You know, you got 3 good receivers. You got a very good running back. We got a quarterback that is maturing and understanding the game, and he can become a weapon as well when you try to take all that away. So, you know, we're just practicing every day, and the offense is practicing every day to make themselves weapons all around that make it tough to defend. So, you know, we're hoping that nobody can defend us, so we're just going every day and practicing just to be best.
You mentioned quarterback Glenn Kuyep. To anybody who was wondering if the 5 touchdowns against Northern Arizona was a fluke, probably proved them wrong this week. Another 5 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. What's allowed him to come along like this? Is this just a matter of a guy finally getting comfortable with the playbook?
Getting comfortable and finding his groove. Like I said early on, we were going back and forth, you know, with the quarterback situation until we solidified that position. So, you know, when you're sharing reps, when you're sharing, you know, the time, that's taking away less plays to get. So now that we've solidified who our starting quarterback is going to be, you know, he's getting more reps in practice, he's getting more comfortable, he's getting more familiar with the receivers and where they're going to be and vice versa. So those are the type of things that are helping the team progress. But like I said, that's what you want to see from your quarterback. His maturation is coming early in the season, which is good for us.
On the other side of the ball, every week it feels like we're talking about defensive back Deion Carter, making plays all the time, tied for the team lead in tackles, 2 forced fumbles in the last 3 games. What makes him such a dangerous player on that side?
We know he's a veteran player, and he's getting comfortable. Like I said, we're still doing a couple of things a little bit differently this year, so he had to get acclimated as well. But the fact that he flies around and hustles and does those things, You know, he still has a couple of things he has to clean up just like everyone else. But, you know, his effort, his tenacity, he goes out and plays, he's going to play hard. You know, we just got to make sure that Dion, as you guys call him, and our other DBs are all on the same page. And that's the biggest thing, communication, effort, and just going through things that we practice on a daily basis.
As a whole, the defense had a pretty tough task this week. Reigning league MVP quarterback DeQuan Neal held him in check for most of that first half. What are your biggest takeaways from that you'll try and carry into the next couple games? You know, the biggest takeaway we got, it's like you guys are the common guy. I was a fan who actually wouldn't see us. And when we watch film and break down film and knowing what our tasks were supposed to be and what our jobs were supposed to be, you know, we held him pretty much in check. And some of the big plays he had was because of situations where our guys weren't taking the right angle. They didn't take their right assignments. And that, when you don't do that, especially against a quarterback like that, you can't blow your assignments. You cannot do your job. So, you know, when we went back and looked at film, if we would have done our assignments, you know, the turnout could have been a whole lot different that game. So our focus on this week is just going out, being assignment sound, doing our assignments, being on our gaps where we're supposed to be. Because like I said, we got another good team coming in. We got another good quarterbacks coming in. And we got to make sure that we contain everyone that we need to contain. The road doesn't get any easier. Next up, you got the defending champs, the Sioux Falls Storm, coming in. Didn't have a passing touchdown last week, but they did rush for 5 in the win against Louisville. 3 different players had those touchdowns. What's the key to slowing down a dynamic running game like that? And like we just talked about, you got to be technique sound. You got to do your keys. If you have an A-gap or B-gap assignment, you got to be in that A-gap or B-gap. You got to do your job, and that's what we preach, doing your job. You can't do the next man's job. We'll get on him if he doesn't do his job, but you have to do yours. And with teams like those, you have to. I mean, you know, their quarterback, you know, Lorenzo Brown's been around for a long time, veteran quarterback. You know, Tommy Armstrong he's starting to play now, and he's another dual-headed quarterback they got there. You know, their running back, Chavis, is a good running back as well. So we just have to be technique sound and be in the right spots. And if we can do that, you know, we can play against anybody. It's just a matter of us taking care of business. You know, and like I said, the schedule's set, so it doesn't make a difference who comes in. You know, if you want to try to make a championship run, you got to play whoever's on your schedule. So that we don't control. So we just got to be ready to play whoever's next up on the schedule. This is a Sioux Falls team that's kind of the model franchise right now in the league. They've been to 10 straight United Bowls. They've won 7 of them. How much do you try and – is there any way to make up for that experience on a Bucs team that obviously is pretty young? You know, you just have to go out and you have to look. If you want to be the best, you got to see who the best teams are and what they do. We know their history. You know, I've known their history well, and, you know, that's a challenge you look forward to because that lets you know what kind of team that you have. You know, we're excited about, you know, having Sioux Falls coming in here, and we're excited to play against them to see where we're at. I think that we can compete with any team as long as we're not making the mistakes and turning the ball over. So if we can do those things, because like I said, a Sioux Falls team, everybody knows they're very well coached and they don't make a lot of mistakes. So you cannot make mistakes against that team and expect to win. So that's what we're emphasizing in practice this week. And, you know, we're excited for the challenge to see where we're at. You're coming home. You're looking for a bounce-back effort. What is our code word of the week? You know, our code word has dual definition this week, short memory, you know. So it means 2 things for us. You know, for one, we have to have a short memory, especially in the game. Things are going to happen. Plays are going to happen. You have to have a short memory and go on to the next play. I thought in the last game, some guys didn't have short memories and let things linger on, and it affects your play. On the flip side, I thought we had short memory in terms of what we practiced did not translate to the game. So in a matter of a couple of days, we had a short memory and forgot what we were supposed to do. So we're emphasizing both of those words this week. During the game, having a short memory, but at the same time, not having a short memory when we go from practice to the game. If we can take care of both sides of that definition, I think we'll put ourselves in a good place on Saturday night. Coach Miller's guys got 2 things to remember. You guys at home only have 1 thing to remember. 2 words, short memory. That is your code word or code phrase of the week, if you will. Head to the Bucs social media stories right after the show to try and win a VIP turf table at the Bucs next home game. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for having me. Bucs head coach Rod Miller. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll learn a little bit more about Bucs wide receiver JT Stokes.
Hey Bucs fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Bucs Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucs.
Everybody needs an off-season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
Did you mind if I practice a little bit? Right, I don't really think that. Johnson holds, shoots, he scores! Incredible! For the 2nd time today, Brent has jammed the printer.
Lowry's 3rd caramel roll of the day. That's a bold move.
And he drains one. Blind squirrel finds a nut. And back to normal.
Staying connected is more important than ever, and we're proud to have connected you when it mattered most. Whether it was working remotely at your new home office or providing cutting-edge security and connectivity solutions, or connecting you to your customers in new ways. More than ever, your local co-op is here for you. Choose local, choose BEK Connect.
Indoor football is back at the Event Center, and the Bismarck Bucks season is right around the corner. The team will be fueled and ready to compete on game days thanks to our 2021 food sponsors. Dine with any of our supporting partners and get a free Bucks ticket to any home game in the 2021 season. Great food and free football. Tickets are first come, first serve, so get yours now. Call 701-595-0771 for more ticket information. And go Bucks!
Welcome back to the show, everybody. In the IFL, there's plenty of talent to go around, and some of it comes to the surface week one. Others take a little bit more time to develop. Bucks wide receiver JT Stokes is the latter, but safe to say he's been well worth the wait. Stokes has been on a real tear the last couple of weeks. After just one touchdown the first 3 games of the season, he's come alive. The Wingate alum has hauled in 5 touchdowns the last 2 weeks and has caught the second most touchdowns in the league. Stokes was quick to give all the credit to everyone from offensive coordinator Corey Ross's game plan to his quarterback Glenn Couillette and the offensive line. Now, Stokes certainly isn't wrong. However, his teammates know Stokes may deserve just a little bit of the credit too.
Work ethic is consistency, and he's there every day after practice, same routine or adding a little extra to it. So his work ethic is definitely there. He's very consistent with it. Like I say, every day after practice, he's making sure I'm coming over there too. Hey, Raheem, gonna get these catches. Mike, where you at? Both of those guys, we all stay on each other as a group.
He always had the physical skill set of everything to be a great receiver, and his mindset was always there. So I just knew, just a matter of time whenever the chemistry started clicking, that's when everything was just going to go for him. And now we're finding it.
For Stokes, football is simply the family business. His father, Tim, played professionally in the Arena Football League with the Macon Knights. Tim was a defensive back for Macon, and seeing his father's grind to stay in the world of professional football sparked the passion in a young Stokes to do the same.
I just fell in love with it after that. I just feel like, so that's really about it. And I seen my dad play, I was like, I want to play that. Like, you know, he's a huge role model. I mean, just really everybody in my family, my mom too. My mom taught me never quit anything. My dad never wanted me to quit anything. He's just hard-working mentality. I really got it from them. He really just tell me just to have confidence, like, you the man, like, you know what I'm saying? He tells me that, he's like, you the man, you the best player on the field type. So I'm like, all right, just kind of keep that confidence in me at all times, regardless of what happens. You know, you always got to keep your confidence. You always got to play like it.
We've got one more break, but when we come back, we'll have another hurry-up offense with Zarel Hendrick.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
Everybody needs an off-season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
Did you mind if I practice a little bit? Right, I don't really think that. Johnson holds, shoots, he scores!
Incredible! For the second time today, Brent has jammed the printer.
Lowry's third caramel roll of the day. That's a bold move. And he drains one. Blind squirrel finds a nut. And back to normal.
Staying connected is more important than ever, and we're proud to have connected you when it mattered most. Whether it was working remotely at your new home office or providing cutting-edge security and connectivity solutions, or connecting you to your customers in new ways. More than ever, your local co-op is here for you. Choose local, choose BEK Connect.
Indoor football is back at the Event Center, and the Bismarck Bucks season is right around the corner. The team will be fueled and ready to compete on game days thanks to our 2021 food sponsors. Dine with any of our supporting partners and get a free Bucks ticket to any home game in the 2021 season. Great food and free football. Tickets are first come, first serve, so get yours now. Call 701-595-0771 for more ticket information. And go Bucks!
Welcome back for another Hurry Up Offense. This week we're chatting with defensive back Zarel Hendricks. Zarel, we're going to get to know you a little bit better, ask some rapid fire questions, see how many you can answer by the time it takes us to get to the other end. Sound like a plan?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So we were just talking, I know you're a big sneakerhead. If all of your sneakers got stolen, but you got to keep one pair, what would it be? What's the holy grail?
One pair? Probably my Black Cats.
Your Black Cats? What got you into
Jordans.
sneaker collecting?
What got me into it? I'll probably blame it on both my parents. My mom has probably 1,000 pair of shoes. My dad, somewhere between 100, something like that. So it's kind of.
You got some catching up to do.
In my jeans, yeah. I just got to catch up to them.
Have you found any spots here in North Dakota yet?
Not at all. I got to start searching.
Yeah, me and you both. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Favorite cookie dough.
Favorite superhero?
Black Panther.
Black Panther? I like that. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
Sir.
Favorite part about playing in the IFL?
Just the speed and the physicality of the game. I mean, football is football, but there's nothing like 50 yards of field, 28 yards wide, and just running and just having that speed and impact on every play.
What's your favorite moment from your football career? Any level?
Any level, I'll probably say breaking my college's all-time interception record with 21 on my last game on senior day.
Last, certainly not least, IFL city you're looking forward the most to visiting this year?
Visiting this year? I'll probably say Mass, just because I'll probably have a lot of family coming out for that game, being on the East Coast and everything, so probably Mass.
This has been another Hurry Up Offense with this week's Zarel Hendrick. Thanks, Zarel.
Thank you.
Thanks to Zarel for joining us. Before we go, remember our coach's code word challenge for the week. The keyword is short memory, and our winner for last week is Ryan Hare. Ryan, congratulations. We'll be getting in touch with you soon to let you know how you can get your prize coming up at the next Bucks home game. That's going to put a bow on this week's show for our entire BEK News and BEK Sports crew. Working so hard behind the scenes, I'm David Sugarman saying so long. Hope to see you at the Event Center this Saturday for a 7:05 kickoff against the Sioux Falls Storm.